Imiss issa li jidħol fit-tank David Ciberras, li permess għall-kumpanija Digilab joħloq u jimmanifattura prostetiċi għall-annimali.
Hi Sharks, my name is David. Today I'm going to pitch my new company called Digilab, a company set to create and manufacture low-cost prosthetics for household pets. Every year, over 25,000 pets in the US alone, dogs specifically, suffer from some sort of cancer that has to lead to an amputation. Aside from this, there is no actual record of the amount of amputations that happen because of accidents. The cost of the amputation itself costs between 1,000 and 2,000 euros. The prosthetic itself starts from 2, but more often than not goes up to 8,000 euros. And these rarely fit properly. My solution is a fully custom 3D printed prosthetic that is made out of sustainable materials, made out of the scanned data of the residual limb, the target price being 400 euros for a subscription cost, or 800 euros as a one-time cost, and the lead time being 1 week, cutting down from the 2 to 3 months that the general prosthetic would take. Our target market are pet owners, veterinary clinics, and animal rehabilitation centers. The one-time model is designed for pets that have already grown to a certain age that wouldn't need to have it replaced over time. It's a very straightforward procedure. The pet is scanned at a facility. It is then digitally fitted the prosthetic. It is printed and shipped with a fitment guarantee. The subscription model is designed for pets that have an injury or some sort of genetic issue that would need constant support. And this could be done quarterly, it could be done bi-yearly, depending on how fast this pet grows. The uniqueness is we're using the agility of 3D printing to our benefit here, the low-cost materials, the lightweightness of it. It has a fitment guarantee, which is something we can safely offer as we are fitting it digitally. It is less than 20% the cost of a normal prosthetic. And the whole circular economy concept, I feel, is very interesting, especially when doing the subscription model, as there is not going to be any more plastic waste. The way I see it growing is having a decentralized manufacturing system, so you would have the innovation hub here in Malta, and then franchise around the world with certain select 3D printing partners. And now, our MVP, our test subject, Nubia. Nubia is wearing Digilab V20, so I've been through several iterations. So it's less than 100 grams, which is less than the original paw. It's modular, depending on the activity level. Flexible plastics, and essentially it fits really, really well. We're coming up with certain different paws. These would be of more flexible materials. So, for example, you have these paws that are a bit more bouncy. This is to emulate certain activity levels. You have the hook, which is sort of like a sprinter's type attachment. And then you have a couple of others that we're still testing. This is the first time I went to fit it. We attached it, and then the next thing I know, she's wearing it for 2 weeks straight. Within an hour, she was walking on it. Very soon, I'll bring her next to you to show you.
There she is.
Right now, she's wearing the one I designed a couple of days ago. She's been a very good patient. The first one was stuck with cable ties. This one is stuck with Velcro. She's very patient. We had to wait for the operation to heal. Right now, we're trying to find the right exact size and weight that she's comfortable putting weight on it. When she runs, and when she gets tired, she puts weight on it. Right now, we have to build up the muscle degradation that happened after the amputation. We're asking for 250,000 for 30%. I broke this down into 70K for the initial 20% to get the project off the ground. Just the initial cash, put up some branding. The product works, we just need to put a tiny bit more R&D into it. And I really believe that something like this needs its own team dedicated to it. The remaining 180K would be allocated against milestones via convertible loan. This could be, for example, our first international sales rep, our first international agreement with a veterinary hospital abroad, etc. The ROI of this is looking at 7.6 times over 5 years. We're looking at putting some sensors into the prosthetic to get some sensory data. Generally, this would be to evaluate if the pet is moving enough, if the pet is being a bit more stagnant, but essentially making it a bit of a smart prosthetic. And together, nothing is impossible. Thank you for your attention.
Proset, David.
Thank you.
So, I would like to understand a bit more being an engineer and being an entrepreneur. So if you can give us a little bit more information about your background. Plus, I would like to also ask you about your USP here.
Okay. So, as an engineer, I've been an engineer for the past 7-8 years. I previously worked at a manufacturing firm. Then 2 years in, me and my wife started our own company, which is a service-based 3D printing company. So we spent the past five years developing other people's ideas most of the time. About 5 of them are in the season of Shark Tank. We had a couple of the previous season and the season before. Because of the way we do things, we like keeping things fresh, new ideas all the time. But I like solving interesting problems. I want to change the world with my designs, my ideas, my concepts, and I think 3D printing is the ideal way of doing this with the right application. So that's sort of about me. The USP here, in my opinion, is how fast we can get them out. Generally, they take 2 to 3 months. We're targeting a lead time of 1 week. The circular economy concept of sending in your used prosthetics, we can regrind them and reprint them locally. Abroad, this should also be possible. But that alone is quite unique. Generally, these are made out of carbon fiber, which you can't recycle, and some other materials that, again, are very difficult to recycle. And the whole fitment guarantee, I haven't seen anywhere. The fact that we're going to guarantee the fitment, as we can visualize it, we can look at it with augmented reality, and make sure that the pod that the customer receives is going to be perfect.
I don't know what you 3D guys drink, but you're all very smart, huh?
Will you be producing the paw in your own manufacturing plant?
Yes, so the way I've set this up is that this will be its own company, and any manufacturing can be outsourced to a third party. Whether or not this is our own 3D printing facility or overseas, which is when the decentralized part comes in, it doesn't really matter. But 20% of the cost is the manufacturing.
There was a particular reason why you didn't do it with the same company that you already have in production?
This is always the way I wanted to grow my vision in terms of 3D printing. I wanted one solid home base of innovation that would be a manufacturing facility. Right now we have 200 3D printers. I employ 10 people, so those are full-time on that.
So basically the investment that you're asking for is for this. This is going to be incorporated.
Standalone.
Completely standalone. Just it's much cleaner to franchise it as well. I already have a 3D printing network that's quite substantial around the world. I have a lot of interest from other facilities in Texas, in the Netherlands, that would be very privy to my ideas. And there's already a very clear path to market for me.
Okay, and the other products that you have are available in the market already. What kind of percentage profit? What are your margins like?
The margins, so each of these has, so each €800 prosthetic, €200 of it is profit.
Okay.
I have personally worked with David in the past, and I can vouch for his works and most of all, dedication towards...
No, I know that you're very well equipped with your...
Very smart as well.
You just moved to new premises.
Just moved to new premises, and that's basically the kicking stone. What kickstarted me is thinking like, okay, we've done many people's ideas. I have a lot of my own ideas.
It's time.
It's time. You know, that whole adage of having a carpenter with torn shoes, the exact same thing.
And this is great, especially the fitting part of it, which you say sets you apart from any other competitor. So,
to be honest with you, I'm really interested in the 3D printing business. In this particular product, it's not something that I would like to invest in. But it's a great idea. But just for this, this idea, I'm out of it.
yeah, same for me. That's why I asked the question if it was just standalone or the entire company.
If it was the other company, I would have been very interested.
Yeah, not for that much.
With this kind of investment, for sure, it's very lucrative and attractive. But like this alone, I don't know much about 3D printing myself, so I wouldn't do it just for that particular product. Thank you.
Dave, again, I mean, I love what you do. Great guy, as I just said and all. It's a financial investment which I can help you, but I don't have the contacts where to take this forward, you know, so it's not my line. But I really wish you the best of luck. I mean, I have full trust in you.
Thank you.
I'm concerned with scalability. I mean, can we scale this quicker? Can this scale quicker? In which case, I think you might need, you know, more investment in terms of marketing.
I think
we
did enjoy this.
A lot more.
No, I said I'd leave it clean, leave
For
it.
scalability,
with
this a lot to go
25,000
global.
amputees in the US alone.
I think here's a financial slide. You want to show that?
As such, we're not targeting massive numbers to begin with, but even with the very conservative numbers I put together, starting with 400 prosthetics around the world, We're making very, very good numbers. And I've basically put together a 5-year projection for you. There's no investment required in the sense that we don't need to buy equipment. We just need to find hires, which is again... Subcontracting, exactly. We have space, which is fantastic.
To start with, obviously, you're already equipped.
Of course. Exactly. But in terms of scalability, I know plenty of other suppliers that have their own smaller print farms around the world. That's when the internationalization really comes into its own, because we don't need to make things here and ship them out. We can have the design happen here, and then we just send them the file.
And if Has does this, you're the first one to do this, or is there...
At this scale, yes. In the past, it's just been a one-off type deal. There are a couple of other, like Bionic Pets, as for example, does something very similar. But my USP is the digital fitment. And again, this whole franchising it makes it instantly accessible worldwide.
Year 5, am I seeing correct? It's 8 million.
Year 5, it's a 7 point.
The income is 8 million.
You have it. Net income is 971,000. Like I said, scalability, my concerns would be scalability and potential exit for me at some point, which is the opportunities would be limited. So for that reason, I'd love to do something with you, but you know, this is not the one. I'll pass on this one.
Thank you.
This is the biggest challenge that I see, how you will get your product out there and managing through in getting the traction, the business traction.
I am here purely for the help and guidance to take it international. I believe, though, that putting together a small team specifically on the project, an engineer at the very least, to have a pair of arms purely just on this is a bit critical.
For the simple reason that this is a pre-seed investment, really and truly, and having a valuation of 700,000, it's a steep. But I would be more than delighted to meet up and have a chat and understand better your business proposal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, David.
Thank you. سبتك سيارة ليه مارك هنا؟
I'm very much interested in investing in something which has a purpose.
He is very, very smart.
But my concern was,
You know what bothered me a bit? That he wouldn't be totally involved in it because his hands are already full.
It was very good. I think the Sharks really understood the concept. I understand that as a new technology and a completely new market, there will be hesitation and investment, which is totally understood. The internationalization concern is, I understand it, because there is a lot of money required to penetrate international markets. That said, I think with my already established network, I can get there.